So as we're redoing rooms, I'm slowly selling off Bradley's room. She's gonna be left with literally a mat on the floor because I sold her curtains and all her bedding, her dresser, her side table, her lamp, headboard is gone. So she's running out of stuff to sleep on. So this is going to be the nursery. Hi. And we have to take all of these gold stickers off the wall. So we're putting the kids to work. They think it's a fun little game. So they're peeling them off. Even Britton's helping. Britton, are you helping peel stickers? Yeah. So I'm headed to my 29-week sono this morning. I'm anxious to see if they are going to say if he's breech still or not. I swear he flipped the other night when we were on a walk. So we were going to go like walk around the neighborhood, and I got like maybe 50 steps into the walk and had so much pressure down like in my pelvic area, and almost felt like I was having contractions. But I could tell it wasn't a contraction, but it was just so much intense pressure. And I was like, I'm never going to make it around the neighborhood. I'm barely going to be able to make it home, let alone, you know, walking all over the place. So we ended up making it around the block, and it was feeling really sore and just kind of like, felt like my ligaments had kind of been stretched a little bit more and stuff like that. And the next morning, he had hiccups, and I was feeling them down like by my bladder versus, you know, like on my side. So I'm anxious to see what they say, but if, I don't know what it was, but I'm thinking that's when he flipped. So at my appointment today, it didn't end up actually being a sono, which I was a little bit surprised by because we've done a sono at every single appointment that we've done. But he said he didn't want me to have to keep paying for sonos that I didn't necessarily need, so I won't have another one for 4 weeks. But the nurse practitioner did confirm that she's pretty convinced that he is head down, which is a huge blessing, because I was a little bit nervous that if he would stay breech, then I would end up having to do a C-section. So, but she said she felt like she could feel butt up here and back to the side, and then like obviously head would be down. So I'm pretty convinced that when we were on that walk, he did actually flip, which was good news. She also said that he will probably induce me at 39 weeks because of the fact that we don't live in town and my age and my history. She said that he would not want me to like obviously go into labor at home. So that was kind of a surprise to me because we have not talked about induction, or I shouldn't say that when we talked about induction, he said he doesn't typically do them. And I don't know if he meant elective, but I guess maybe it's different if it's his choice. So anyway, that was kind of new information. She said that at my sono in 4 weeks from now that they will probably schedule me for induction. At that point, I would be 33 weeks, and then 39 weeks would be September 4th. So anyway, we shall see. But that was kind of an interesting update today. So officially 30 weeks today. We're on our way to Nashville. This is my first time in a car for this many hours. So we're like half hour out. We only stopped once. Thankfully, feeling decent in the car. I was a little bit nervous driving 6 hours without being able to get out and walk around a lot, but so far so good. Are we almost popping mamas? So we made it to Nashville. I was a little bit worried about the 6-hour drive down here, but thankfully being in the car, we only stopped once, but being in the car for that long was good. It's been definitely more tired since I've been here. More swelling, obviously with the humidity and heat, it always kind of amps up a little bit. So definitely having more edema in my legs and things like that, trying to do like a walk every day, which has definitely kept it down. Blood pressure's up a little bit. I don't know if that's just because of like normalcy of pregnancy at the end, or if it's just, you know, with everybody in the house, trying to take it like when there's like the kids aren't around and there's less commotion going on, but it's still just a little bit elevated. Nothing to worry about, but just higher than normal. The baby has been moving a little bit less than like what he would at home, and I don't know if that's because we've been so up and around, whereas normally I'd be sitting at a desk and I feel more movement. So I've been unfortunately kind of letting that get in my head a little bit. kind of freaking out. I feel like the further it goes and the longer it goes, that you kind of just start letting your mind wander of all the things that could go wrong versus just kind of resting in the fact that, it's going to be okay. So, overall, it's been a good trip and been glad to be able to come down here and do something different than just being at home and being able to celebrate all the family birthdays and do some of that together. So it's been fun. We got to go out for Whit's birthday yesterday. But my doctor had told me to essentially try to limit my exposure as much as possible, because Nashville supposedly supposed to be a hot spot for COVID again. So I have been trying to stay at my parents' house as much as possible. I really have not been out much at all outside of going out for Whit's birthday. So it's been a little bit different coming down to visit than what it has been in the past, but it's just been nice to be with family and the kids have been entertained. But yeah, overall it's been good. It's a little bit weird now that I know that they're going to induce me at 39 weeks, or at least think that that's the plan, to go from thinking that you have like 2.5 months left, all of a sudden going, okay, I have like less than 8 weeks, feels so much shorter than saying 2 months. And so now I feel like I've got all this stuff to do and feel like there's like so much to get done. I realized I don't have any I don't have any boy stuff at all. Like, I mean, everything, if it was another girl, it would be, pajamas, burp cloths, all that stuff, swaddles, no big deal. But with boy, I don't have any of it. So I'm like, okay, I really need to get him some sleepers, and I need to get him some swaddles, and I need to get burp cloths, and, just like stuff so he has something to wear when he comes home from the hospital. So my mom is going to come up probably here in the next couple weeks and help me like get the rooms ready. We ordered flooring for the bedrooms, and so we're gonna be doing that here in the next couple weeks. So we're basically gonna be tearing up the entire upstairs and redoing the whole thing before he comes. So it's going to be a very busy 8 weeks. So I think this has been the weirdest pregnancy from the standpoint of being pregnant during this whole COVID pandemic. So I found out recently that when I go in to have the baby, that if I test positive for COVID, they have to labor with a mask on, that I can't hold the baby. So now all of a sudden, like, a lot of these panic feelings are starting to come over me, and like, what should we do before, we go to the hospital, and just like, do we quarantine for a couple weeks before we go in, which literally 2 weeks before I'm supposed to get induced is Brecken's first day of kindergarten. So do I have her like stay at someone's house for 2 weeks while she goes to school, or do I keep her home? Like, just kind of a crazy time. So in addition to that, we had an employee test positive for COVID, and I really haven't had any exposure to her, but I have had exposure to the rest of the employees that she was interacting with. So the whole office is getting tested to make sure that they're not positive. We sent everybody home. So it's just a weird time, and it's like a little freaky, not knowing, just, I think when it first started, you really don't know anybody that gets it, for the most part, and now it's feeling like more and more people are getting it. Thankfully it seems to be like a lighter strain than like the crazy stuff we were seeing in the spring, but it doesn't make it any less unnerving. So I'm literally sitting in line right now, in the COVID line, waiting to get tested. They're doing like 24-hour testing here in town, thankfully, but just a weird time we live in. So we're starting to clear out the bedrooms and get things ready we've got flooring going in on the 24th. So Bradley is helping me put together, you helping me, Bradley? Her side tables. So we've got the box out, starting to get it ready. So that way we have less. So we're trying to get all the stuff ready to go so that it's ready, just like load the room once the flooring's done. Okay, I got one put together. So I was eyeing that on Anthropology for like months, and then it disappeared and couldn't find it. I wish I had just grabbed it, and then ended up just like randomly finding them on clearance on Anthro. So I grabbed them. They're still expensive, but even on clearance, but I love them. And so got one together, one to go. I just hauled Brecken's dresser into the family room. Out of breath. I slid it the whole way, but still. Whew, you see how ambitious I get. Maybe get started on it, maybe not, maybe take a nap. We'll see. So we've been working on painting this weekend and trying to get the baby room ready, and then we've got Brecken's room and Britton's room to paint as well. So we've got 2 coats of primer on that one. I got out Brecken's dresser that we have not attempted to even start putting together yet. I got really ambitious and then decided against it, but I did get Riley's bedside tables over there. All I had to do was add the legs. So then I got cocky and thought, well, I'll do her dresser, and then I got it all out and I was like, nope. So that's gonna be the next project so I can get it out of my family room, but making some progress today with the bedrooms. We are hopefully gonna at least get the baby room done. Britton's room only needs like 1 coat of gray, so we're going over the same color, and then Brecken's has to be painted all white. And we're doing wallpaper behind the bed on each wall, so we're technically only needing to paint 3 walls, but we're trying to just make sure that it's removable wallpaper, so that way if we ever take it down, we don't have like these like mismatched walls underneath. So trying to do it right the first time, and we got to get it all done because we have flooring coming on the 24th. So I had a relatively productive weekend. We started painting Briley's room, which is going to be the new baby room, and got 2 coats of primer on that. I don't think we probably needed 2 coats of primer. Now thinking about it, because we'll probably end up with 2 coats of white, but we'll see how that goes. And got Brecken's dresser put together. So we've got flooring coming on the 24th, trying to get a bunch of stuff knocked out before that happens. My cousin Tammy is a saint and came over and helped me put the dresser together, and is coming back tonight to help me start actually putting paint on Briley's walls. So just slowly like knocking through stuff. But I can tell like with all the extra activity that I'm super tight, and I don't typically do this many steps, but so I think I mentioned that we had this COVID scare at work. I had to get tested, and so we had fewer people in the office because we didn't let them obviously come until they get their results back. And so I pulled inventory, or did inventory and orders on Friday, and did close to 10,000 steps, and definitely felt it the next day. And then on the weekends, up and down the stairs a ton. So it definitely kind of takes its toll, but at the same time, I'm trying to stay active because I know it's way better for me with like my joints and my ligaments and everything like that to stay moving rather than sitting still. I definitely always feel better when I'm active versus not. And it helps with like the swelling in my legs and ankles and things like that. So trying to stay moving, but not like, overdoing it completely. And so, plus like with all of the kids, I worked out except with Briley, and she was my worst recovery of any of the children. So I'm trying to continue to stay as active as possible, and still working out, trying to work out 2 to 3 days a week with my trainer. And so I can keep doing that, hoping to try to do that as long as possible. And with Brecken, I basically did it up till labor. With Briley, like I said, I didn't do it at all. And then with Britton, I think I worked out up until like 30 weeks. So I'm already past that, so I feel good about sticking with it. But I definitely am trying to do as much as I can to try to stay in shape, which always feels like a losing battle. But anyway, you do with the best that you can, right? So I'm heading in for my appointment this morning. I'm interested to see what he has to say. So I'm having a lot of swelling in my legs, which is way more than what I've ever had with any of the other kids. Could be just because it's a boy, could be because of previous history, and also just not feeling the greatest, kind of like dull headache, blood pressure's been up a little bit, not to this scary range, but definitely inflated. So anxious to see what he has to say. Really wishing that they would be doing a sono today just to be able to see if everything's okay, but just kind of anxious to see what they tell me. I'll have my next sono in 2 weeks, so we'll see. So I met with the nurse practitioner today. I told him that I'm having seemingly more swelling in feels like my face, my legs, my hands, and everything, as well as like a dull headache, and blood pressure has been like 130 over 82, 86, things like that. So I said I wasn't trying to sound the alarms, but I also wanted to just like bring it to their attention because I want to be proactive. And she said, no, that's obviously, we want you to bring that stuff to our attention. They still feel like everything's fine, but they pulled labs today just to check for preeclampsia. They also now want to see me once a week instead of every 2 weeks. So I'll be back in Peoria even more. And I have a sono scheduled for 2 weeks from now, but I'll just do like a normal prenatal appointment next week just to check in and check blood pressures and things like that. So anyway, seems like everything's okay, but just trying to be, take precaution just in case, since, past history is not overly positive. So, they also were saying that they, suggest like quarantine, like the last 2 weeks before you go in, which is kind of what I was planning on anyway. So we have some things to decide because Brecken starts preschool. She starts kindergarten 2 weeks before I'm due. So I don't want to keep her home from school. I know she'd be devastated, but trying to figure out like what that's going to look like as well. So the nurse practitioner called yesterday and said all my labs came back normal. So that was super encouraging. I think I really just overdid it over the weekend because we painted and we put together a dresser and I was going up and down the stairs a ton. I was also on my feet all day Friday, helping pull orders, and just walked a ton more than what I usually do. And so I think that's why I was carrying all the extra water and probably partly why my blood pressure was up. So feeling much better yesterday and today. Still really tired, like more tired than normal. Obviously I'm always tired, but a lot more fatigue than usual. So I don't know if that's just kind of lingering, but the good news is labs came back, which normal. And they did those based off of checking to see if I had preeclampsia. And so far, it's not showing that I do, which is a huge positive compared to what we went through last time. So it's all good report. So we have flooring coming the 31st, got backed up. It was supposed to be the 24th. And we got Brecken's room painted now. This is the first coat. We think we could have actually maybe gotten by with one coat because this wall that looks blotchy is going to have wallpaper on it. But the trim looks a little too thin. So we went ahead and we're gonna do a second coat in here, and then Bradley's room is done, which will be the new baby room. And obviously all the carpet's coming up because it's cream and it's disgusting and we're sick of it. And then we're gonna attempt to do Britton's room tomorrow, which is staying the color gray that it is. But we're just gonna do a fresh coat of gray on it because it has been on there for like 6 years. So it's coming along. We are having dressers painted and a bunch of stuff. So in the next like 2 weeks, it's gonna be a little wild moving stuff in and out of the rooms. But thankfully, since we sold off the bedroom furniture in both the other rooms, these have been super easy to paint because there's like literally nothing in here. Brecken and Bradley have been sleeping together on a mattress on the floor. So it's made it relatively easy to do all the painting. So full-on nesting mode has started. I make lists upon lists upon lists of stuff that I want to get done before the baby comes. I always get in this habit of like wanting to literally clean out my entire house from top to bottom. So as more energy has started, I started making a list of all the stuff I want to do. My mom's actually coming into town like the first week of August to help me kind of like load the rooms, and that'll be like a bunch of stuff we'll probably work on that week too. So So I've knocked a bunch of stuff off the list. I will probably regret it the next couple days because it seems like when I go overboard on the weekends, then the next couple days of the week, I kind of pay for it. But at least finally getting some stuff done around here after, you know, spending 20 weeks, like not feeling an ounce of energy to move. So we worked on a bunch of stuff this weekend, got Brecken's room knocked out. I made like a huge nesting list of stuff I wanted to knock out and get done, and felt great yesterday. Last week I felt like I paid for it for like 3 days with everything that we did, until I felt fine yesterday. Now this morning, waking up with horrible headaches, stiff neck, like really tight joints, and clearly retaining several pounds of water. So not exactly sure how to even that out, because it increases my blood pressure. My blood pressure was like 139/82 this morning, which is high. As soon as it gets in the 140s, they want to put me on meds. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure what this scoop is. I don't know if it's because I'm just less active during the week and then on the weekends trying to knock out stuff and get things done, or what, but I just feel like I've got a lot in the mix right now. We've got flooring coming next week, trying to get 3 bedrooms remodeled before then. I've got wallpaper to do in all 3 bedrooms, getting that quoted, getting dressers painted. Just feels like a lot going on. So just trying to like get the house ready and prepped before the baby comes. Because my blood pressure has been higher, they want to see me weekly now, so I have an appointment tomorrow, and just trying to, you know, keep an eye on that. And then I have a sono on Monday, trying to get Brecken's like back to school stuff done. She's got an eye exam that she's got to do this week. Then we have doctor's appointments next week, and then we have what else? Dentist appointments. It's just gonna be a little bit wild until the baby comes. So just trying to take it all in stride and yet knock it all out at the same time. And so I don't know if I should be resting more. I don't feel like I'm necessarily like not sitting and putting my feet up, but I'm just like retaining a ton of water in my legs. I can feel, because they are denting. I've got like, can't see my ankle bone, and denting in my shins. So somewhat normal for this time of year, but I didn't really have it that bad with the girls, so it might just be difference between boy and girl as well. But anyway, it's going to be a race to the finish these last 6 weeks, ready to be done.